So here's a wild question for you. What happens when a craft as old as time itself, I mean, literally just shaping clay with your hands, crashes headfirst into the most advanced technology we've ever created? Well, we're going to unpack that with a story. It's a bit of a satirical take on a 25-year journey from a quiet village potter to a high-flying venture capitalist, and then all the way back again. This is the story of Paanai and Vetri. Our story kicks off way back in the year 2000 with a village potter named Paanai. And his name, you gotta love this, it literally means clay pot in Tamil. And as he's working, his little daughter, Vetri, her name means victory, is playing right there beside him. This quote, this is his dream. He wants her to shape her own destiny, not just follow his path. This right here is the heart of the whole story. And Vetri, wow. She doesn't just fulfill his dream, she absolutely demolishes every expectation. Just look at this timeline. By 2020, she's the very first person from her village to go to college. A few years later, by 2025, she's a big-shot venture capitalist, closing huge deals, looking for the next disruptive tech company. Think about that for a second. The leap from the slow, patient turn of a potter's wheel to the frantic pace of quarterly returns. They're just two completely different universes. Okay, so let's fast forward to 2026. After years totally immersed in the world of tech and high finance, Vetri decides it's time to come home for a visit. You know how it is. When you're a hammer, everything looks like a nail. Well, Vetri comes home, and at first, she sees her dad's workshop through the only lens she knows now, the VC lens. She sees inefficiencies, she sees processes that could be scaled, she sees a business just begging to be disrupted. To her, his life's work seems kind of, quaint, a little outdated. But then, as she just sits and watches him work, something inside her starts to change. And this right here is the real turning point of the whole story. Vetri came home thinking she had all the answers, but she's about to find out she's the one who's going back to school. Turns out, the potter's wheel has a few lessons that her fancy MBA kind of forgot to mention. So, what does she learn? Well, first off, in her world, speed is king. But her dad shows her that a pot that's rush is a pot that's gonna crack. Real quality takes time. He knows his material. Every single batch of clay is different, just like every market or every client. And his simple tools, they don't limit him. They force him to be more creative. And every pot that breaks, that's not a failure. It's a teacher. It's a lesson the perfect ones could never teach you. And the lessons just keep on coming. He teaches her about what it means to scale sustainably, that making 50 great pots is way better than making 500 mediocre ones. He shows her this world built on community, not cutthroat competition, where the potters actually help each other out. And maybe the most important lesson of all, he shows her the huge difference between a financial valuation and real value, the simple, honest worth of a pot that a family might use for 20 years. So, armed with all this newfound respect, but still with that venture capitalist brain ticking away, Vetri gets this big idea. What if she could merge her two worlds? She decides to do something crazy. She's going to bring artificial intelligence into her father's ancient workshop. The great experiment is about to begin. So she pitches it to her dad. What if, she says, we used AI to optimize your designs? Her intentions are good, of course. But Paanai, well, he's curious, but he's also skeptical. I mean, can an algorithm really understand the feel of the clay? Can a machine truly replicate the wisdom that's been passed down for generations? The stuff that's literally in the muscle memory of his hand? And the results of their little experiment? Oh, they were fascinating. It was a real mixed bag. The AI had some genuine hits. It actually helped them find these beautiful, lost traditional patterns from old photographs and even figured out how to optimize his inventory. But then came the misses. Oh, the misses. The AI suggested minimalist pots that the villagers just thought looked unfinished. It came up with optimal handles that completely ruined the look of the pots. And my personal favorite? Pastel pink pickle jars. I mean, come on. A truly spectacular failure in knowing your customer. But here's the cool part. They didn't just throw the tech out. Instead, they completely redefined its role. See, the AI wasn't going to be the new master craftsman. No way. It was going to be the junior apprentice. It could do research, it could suggest ideas, it could analyze data. But the final decision, the creative spark, that always belonged to the human hands. And this leads to my favorite moment in the whole story. After using the AI to help bring back an ancient design and create this absolutely beautiful new pot, Paanai turns to Vetri with this huge grin on his face and says, "Call me Paanai now." He's not being replaced, he's just playing, adapting, using a new tool completely on his own terms. And that's the punchline, isn't it? The real satire of it all. That triumphant Pan-AI moment was built on 98% lifetime skill and intuition and pure mastery. The AI, it was just a tiny 2% catalyst. And for Vetri, that was a huge realization, coming from an industry that often acts like the technology is responsible for 98% of the success. So this brings us to the final twist. The story started with this idea of technology coming in to disrupt an old craft. But was that really the disruption? Who was the one that was really, truly changed by all this?
See, Vetri goes back to her firm, but she's not the same person. She starts asking her companies questions they have never, ever heard from a VC before. Questions like, will any of this actually matter in 25 years? Or are we optimizing for speed? Or are we optimizing for real, lasting value? And this one's a big one. What traditional wisdom are we just steamrolling over without even trying to understand it? These aren't business school questions. These are potter's wheel questions.
And that right there is the core message. That's the beautiful, satirical twist of the whole story. The technology didn't really disrupt the potter. No, the ancient wisdom of the potter completely and fundamentally disrupted the technologist's worldview. It's such a powerful reminder that real innovation, sometimes it isn't about looking forward. Sometimes it's about having the wisdom to listen to the past.
So this story ends with this really beautiful, symmetrical image. In Paanai's workshop, there's now an AI tablet sitting quietly in the corner like a useful little apprentice. And halfway across the world, in Vetri's super high-tech office, right there in the middle of all the screens and algorithms, sits a simple clay pot, a constant reminder of where true value really comes from. And really, Vetri's entire journey comes down to this one final thought from her. I went abroad to learn about value creation. I came home to understand what value means. It's such a profound difference, right? And it kind of leaves us all with a challenge to really think about the difference between the things we can measure and the things that truly, truly matter.